ask you at this conference where we come from so many places and so many backgrounds and span the generations, be generous, be kind, be allies to each other. Please don't call people out, call people in to grow.
Skoicho, Asium Sia Nishalacha, Asium Sia Nisholaka, Haichka Siam Yahuilaptin, Haichka Siam Niquilia here, Haichka Siam Lakondangach, Asa Theihlia.
It's amazing that I not only get to come out and speak to all of you and share my wealth of knowledge as a becoming elder, especially as it relates to being two-spirit and trans, but I get to dazzle the world around me with love and healing, and I can't think of a better thing that I could do.
I personally love the term. I love the term two-spirited. I love using it because I do feel like that it's a term created by and for Indigenous folks. And it is kind of all-encompassing. And to me, it means that I'm able to stand alongside my LGBTQ folks that are Indigenous, and we are like one.
I always say that I'm trans and two-spirit because being trans, I don't want to ever forget to acknowledge the things that I've done and experienced as a trans person, the barriers that I've faced or overcome, the relationship with, just having a medicalized existence. So I do hold both of those in extreme importance in who I am and how I carry myself today.
One of the things I do say, for me with allies, is don't do my work. Support me in doing my work. It's not your space. It's my space. It's our space. So if you're going to come as an ally, don't represent me. I represent myself.
We call it an anti-trans backlash, but it's not really about us. Like, we are the targets, but it's not about us. It's a reaction to all the cisgender people who have moved on and are now tolerating and accepting us. That's what the backlash is about. There aren't more people who are fully stigmatizing us. They're the exact same people who always have. The difference is they have to be louder and more organized now.
No matter how bad things look, if you could just live another day, that there may be an opportunity for you to change your life and come out on the other end. I ended up out on the street when I was 14, like many other trans people of my generation, as a throwaway kid, because my family wanted nothing to do with what was going on with me. I survived the way that many trans people survive, by doing anything I could to survive. And that meant anything. I am not necessarily proud of all of the things that I did to survive, but I am proud of having survived them. I'm really proud of having survived them.
I want to be celebrating our diversity. Now, I get that there are some concerns that people have around if we don't seem like we're a unified front in how to respond to the issues that are going on, particularly in the United States with the different laws. I understand the drive to want to do that. I just don't think it's possible, and it's not possible because we're just a diverse community of people. And I think having a lot of different people take on issues from a lot of different perspectives and in a lot of different avenues or actions, I think is actually going to be more beneficial for us.
I want you to know that last night, GLAAD Media Awards took place in Los Angeles, and this film won the award for the Outstanding Documentary.
last night at the GLAAD Media Awards, Jules Gill-Peterson brought the house down by speaking directly to trans kids and offering up the legacies of young trans girls in the 1930s and the 1960s as a way to say, you are not new, you have always been here, and we will show up to tell you and others that that is the truth. That is the truth of our existence, and that is about visibility.
Contemporary discourse is that the more visible you make yourself, and by virtue of that, the more profitable your identity becomes, the closer you are to liberation. I'm thinking about that in terms of like constraining people as well. There is a freedom to not being known.
I've often been the first or only trans person on a large show, and you're constantly navigating both your performance as the role and your performance as a trans person. In these kinds of situations like Framing Agnes affords, it allows you to drop that extra level of performance and just be yourself with other people. And I do think that ultimately it makes for a better performance.
Something kind of becomes a tipping point, and you just find yourself in that peculiar trans situation where you're like, oh, all of a sudden, like, I make so much more sense to myself than I ever did. Very funny enough, right? Often all the people around you will be like, yeah, that was so obvious. Why are you the last person to know things about yourself? And it's like, wow.
I think the absolutely most important thing that trans adults and trans elders can do for us is to let us see you being happy, and to see the success and the joy is the most amazing thing.
If we lived in a world where there was nothing but inclusion, what would that world look like to you?
Not have to be stigmatized, not have to be excluded from anything. We would just be as much people as everybody else. And it would not have to be a special thing. It would not have to be something that we have to look down upon. It would not have to be something that is weird or odd or that we have to study anymore, but it could just be fully integrated into society and understood and accepted.
We advertise this conference as interdisciplinary, and it is so interdisciplinary. We had people talking about Two-Spirit people and Indigenous perspectives on gender, trans plus people in Argentina, Australia, Canada, France, Germany, India, Ireland, Japan, Turkey, the Philippines, South Africa, South Korea, Thailand, the UK, and the US. We talked about history, archival practices, racialization, mental and physical and sexual health throughout the life course, trans plus people in educational institutions, non-binary people, gender euphoria, music, film, literature, art, social media, community organizations and organizing, religious perspectives on trans plus people in sport, workplace issues, legal and policy issues, disability issues, families, police, prisons, and the pursuit of justice, and drag. Our vision is a world where trans plus and all gender diverse people can thrive, free from the limitations of gender and intersection oppressions. Our mission is to provide inspiration and hope to trans plus people and our allies everywhere. And through it all, we are committed to applying an intersectional lens in our work to advance reconciliation, racial justice, equity, and inclusion for all.